find the mummy.
Don't worry, the mummy will find you.
You'll howl as you follow Bud and Lou in a strange land where exotic dancers perform ancient rituals. You'll scream at this mystic world of mad magic and uproarious adventure. Your nerves will jangle as they tangle with terror, meddle with murder, and try to elude a curse 4,000 years old.
Of Pod.
From Atlanta,
where we all float, right over the Hellmouth in I-85.
It's the 9 Billion Names of Pod with Dan Bowman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bowman.
I'm Pound Foolish.
So took me a second. Let's talk about some stuff.
Yeah, you see what I did there? Yeah. Yes, talk, whatever, sigh of something.
Yes, there's a whole mess of trailers out now. We're getting to that critical mass point for the summer blockbuster movies,
and teasing some of the ones for later on, even after that.
Yeah,
because don't we get Wonder Woman before Justice League?
Yeah, Wonder Woman is.
May. It should be imminent
soon. Yeah, it's very, very soon.
So I was watching the trailer, going, first of all, Cyborg looks like total shit. Aquaman really should have his own film before Justice League.
Well, they all should.
Yes.
Every one of them should.
Yeah. But we got to catch up to Marvel, so we're just going to jump over all the hard work they did and just try to jump right to,
I will tell you, I've watched the Justice League trailer several times at this point, and I kind of like it better every time I see it. First time I watched it, I was like, and then as I got into it, I was like, okay, and then... I still think it's off the mark, but it looks like there's at least a little bit of humor in it. DC is desperately trying to make Aquaman cool, desperately, and they have been for years and years and years.
And they're doing the best they can, and let me tell you,
there's nobody cooler than
he's
Jason
looking
Momoa.
He's looking pretty badass with badassery happening.
In the comics, probably mid '90s, they tried the whole like we're gonna make Aquaman cool, and they did. He looked more like Chris Hemsworth than Jason Momoa, blonde with a big beard and a hook hand. So I don't know if that's coming, but I mean, Jason Momoa is pretty. He's pretty damn cool.
Hey. He's Khal Drago, and let me tell you, he does things.
He does things.
He does things to small blonde women. So
okay, I will.
You'll take my word for it because you haven't seen Game of Thrones.
Not yet. It's coming.
Well, it's going to be over within
next year.
2 years. Is it next year? Because I
believe so. Yeah.
I think we have 2 more seasons. We have this one, and then we have another one that's split up, or I can't remember exactly.
Something like that. But
at this point, they're doing like The Sopranos, where it's like there's 3 more episodes, and then you got to wait for a year and a half. Son of a bitch. so Justice League. Okay.
Yeah, that was the, I don't want to say bad news of the week. That was the okay.
Less than stellar.
We're still here.
DC hasn't done the work.
Right.
I don't give a crap about half those characters because I don't know them.
I agree.
These incarnations of the character, obviously.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. I want to see Paradise Island. I want to see some serious Amazonian.
At least we're getting that.
We will see that before we see Justice League.
Yeah.
So we've got our Batman down. We've got our Wonder Woman down. But there's 3 other members of the team that who I was like Cyborg. I think that's the one that nobody knows.
Nobody outside the
exactly
outside the nerd.
This
culture.
is me speaking as a person who has never picked up a comic in his life. Right. So take that with a grain of salt.
Cyborg is definitely the least known of that
right.
incarnation of the League. That's not the original members of the League anyway. That's kind of the newer version. Flash is always
we didn't even see the Wonder Twins. Come on.
That's something else.
No? Oh. I mean, I thought it was, did you think it was creepy when, form of water, form of a pail, Ew. What? No.
Well, at least they had a pet monkey for no reason.
Yeah, throw that into the mix, and that makes it okay.
The good news,
Yeah.
the good news of the week, though, DC is finally like probably out of desperation, because I looked at the Justice League trailer and I was like, man, if this tanks, they're fucked. It's over. But
Yeah.
Gotham City Sirens is still on track. It's still been greenlit. It's still going to go. And they also announced this week that they're going to do a standalone Batgirl movie.
Directed by.
Joss fucking Whedon.
He said he would come back to superhero stuff if he could do a. I think was it Batgirl. He mentioned one project, but I think it was more like a female-driven project.
Well, I've told you, he wrote a Wonder Woman treatment, which at the time they said, "Oh, that will never work. A female-driven superhero set in World War I, that'll never work." Captain America set in World War II, and then look at what we've got. We've got a Wonder Woman movie set in World War I.
Yeah.
So he's crossing the aisle. He had such a bad taste in his mouth from Ultron, because it was like he couldn't make a movie. He had to make a launching point for 7 other movies.
Right, exactly. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. No, we have to have that in there.
Yeah,
because,
we need this, we need this,
Right.
we need the pool. Like, they were going to cut the whole farm bit.
Yeah.
But he's signed on, at least it's 99% sure that he's going to do a standalone Batgirl. Now,
Question is, will he also write it? I hope so.
yeah, I would assume.
Yes.
I at least have a hand in. He'll at least co-write. He doesn't.
Okay.
He generally doesn't do stuff he doesn't write. I mean, he wrote Avengers, and him and his team and his brothers and stuff.
Yeah.
Where does it fall, though? Is this going to be the introduction of Batgirl? Is it going to be before the Batman movie? Is it going to be before Gotham Sirens? Is it going to be where in the timeline? Because the timeline's all fucked.
We need someone to Feige this shit and get it all in perspective and dial it in.
They've got that. They've got Jeff Johns, who is a comic writer, and he's starting to figure it out. Too late.
But when you walk into the middle of a disaster zone, you're not going to order shit up immediately.
Right.
So he may have to do a few things that he really doesn't want to do, but to be able to bring some of these other films into the fold in some way.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I didn't start this project. I'm not ending this project, but there it is. Okay. We'll change this one over here to match. All right, fine.
I think what he's doing right now is I got to make one movie that works. Is what it is.
Just one.
Just one.
Just take one that everyone goes,
hopefully,
wow. They what they need at this point, they need a Dark Knight situation where people,
they need a huge hit. Yeah, they need
people just drop like, holy crap.
Yeah, I don't.
It ain't going to be Justice League.
I don't think so.
Guarantee
It'll do
you.
fine, but they'll make their money back. But it's not going to be. It's.
But at this point, Marvel's like, yeah, we made our money back. Opening weekend, or opening day.
Opening day, yeah.
Like, by the time it had its official opening, after midnight on Friday, we were already paid off for everything.
Right.
Just in previews.
Yeah, we made so much money we can make dumb shit like Guardians and Ant-Man, and they make $1 billion.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, it's like, sometimes Feige can sit back and go, damn, it did that well? Okay.
Wow.
Guess like we can greenlight just about anything.
Just about anything.
And, but they do it well.
Yeah.
So
that's all.
They're
entertaining. They're true to the source material, and they're fun. Yeah. And it can't. Again, there's been a million. There's been the long-standing rivalry between Marvel and DC, our distinguished competition, as they're known from Marvel.
The Pepsi and Coca-Cola.
Exactly. And, we can't do what they do, and I get that. But we can't do that because they're doing it your way out of movie franchises.
Right.
Like, we're not making, the problems that Batman Superman had was like, we're going to make it dark and evil and mean, and it's like, well, that's not entertaining. That's not fun for anybody.
It's like there's a happy medium between post-apocalyptic, tone note on human civilization and Boff Bang Bing Batman 66.
Yes.
There's a happy medium, little comedy, a lot of action.
I go back to the animated stuff. Let Bruce Timm and Paul Dini take over. Those are the guys who should be in charge. Seriously, let them like massage the universe and get the tone of things right. You know, because the Justice League stuff, the cartoon stuff, is great. It's
insert happy ending joke here.
It's dark enough, but it's fun too. You know, you get to see the fun part of the characters.
Well, let's face it. In the Marvel universe, at least up until maybe a couple of years ago, I'd say 87.4% of all the levity in that universe was Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, totally.
That's it. You know, now we got Ryan Reynolds creeping in and a little bit of Star-Lord action on the Guardian side.
Yep, totally.
So the comedy's coming up nicely, but
and Avengers had, you know, everybody had their couple of moments. You know, Loki was adopted, and you know, I get that reference, and that man's playing Galaga. You know, it had that Joss Whedon touch. So I'm excited about that. I mean, he made his bones on Buffy and Firefly and, you know, stuff with strong female leads, you know. So here's hoping.
Are you calling Mal a female?
I'm telling River a female.
She definitely was.
She was indeed.
She most definitely was.
And speaking of Marvel, we also got a new extended Spider-Man Homecoming trailer.
Yes.
And there's another $1 billion for them right there.
I see. No, and the thing is that I'm actually a little bit more interested in this because when they rebooted it with Andrew Garfield, I had so little interest. I just did not care.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen any of the Garfield ones at all.
There's only two.
I just don't care.
I saw the first one, and it was okay. He was fine. It was okay. It just didn't.
Yeah, it's no knock against anybody in the films. It's like, we just saw this. I understand why you had to reboot it because you lose the rights and stuff.
Right.
But I don't.
Everybody got shafted on those projects.
Yeah,
because it was too soon. And,
way too soon.
You know, it didn't connect to the Marvel stuff. It was actually pre-Marvel, like the universe really taking off. But again, that's another thing with this new one with Homecoming is that it's Marvel films. I mean, they're in the universe. That's half the movies with him and Tony Stark.
Yeah,
so.
That's the Homecoming. He's coming back to Marvel.
Yes.
So
yes.
Hello to Mr. Birdman, Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Thank you. This guy is a fucking acting treasure, and he should be utilized a hell of a lot more than he has been.
And he's playing a lot more villains than he has.
Good.
In the past.
Well, I'll tell you, I think people finally saw his range in Birdman. I will never stop going on about Birdman.
Yep.
In fact, the only film I'll go on more about than Birdman is
St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah. Yeah, St. Elmo's Fire. You want to know the connection between Michael Keaton and St. Elmo's Fire?
Yeah,
they both were big in the 80s.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, I'm down for that. I mean, even if I didn't give a crap about Spider-Man, which after Garf, you know, I'm back in the game. Like, all right, I can go for this. The fact that he's playing the villain, I'm in.
Yeah,
I think he is just, you know, he's come a long way since Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
He's come a long way. He's come a long way since Batman.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
So,
and I
if
like
we can just get that Beetlejuice sequel happening.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it's all the same team. I don't want a sequel for the sake of a sequel, but if you get, you know, Burton and all the principals back, then sure, you know.
I could even do without Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. I think their story has been told. So if you have Beetlejuice and Lydia, you're good, you know, and her family, you know, have Catherine. I mean,
although I think isn't Jeffrey Jones in jail?
I'm not sure of the status.
I think there was
of
some
where
kind of
there was a whole child pornography something.
But
or
I think it was like art prints, so it wasn't.
It was gray.
I didn't look into
very
it.
Gray. Yeah, I remember hearing about it. I don't remember what the outcome was. I know the actor who played Otho died a few years ago.
Did he?
Yeah, he died a few years ago. But I mean, Winona's still around. I mean, I will lobby to put Catherine O'Hara in literally anything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Anything.
And actually, Winona's star hasn't been this hot since maybe the early 90s because of Stranger Things.
Absolutely.
And she did a hell of a good job.
Yeah.
And when she was at the Emmys?
Or the Golden Globes.
Was it Golden Globes?
I think it was the Golden Globes.
I don't know what the hell she was doing on stage.
From what they said was that David Harbour went off script. They had
agreed to something and she was
they'd agreed to something and he kind of like built it up and did more than what was on the paper that they had.
And that was her
agreed on.
weird reaction.
That was her weird reaction.
Because it looked like she was going through, the 24 stages of bipolar disease right there on stage.
Yeah, it was a little kooky.
And free Winona from her own mind. So, all right. But yeah, I'm speaking of Stranger Things, sidebar, Your Honor.
Sure. I'll allow it.
I just binge watched in one day the entire first season of the OA.
I don't even know what that is. I saw you're putting recommendations.
Yeah, you know what? Neither do I. Still, as of right now.
Gotcha.
I put it out on my personal Facebook, like, hey, I've heard very fair to middling things about this, and it was about 80% don't bother, 20% bother, and then one particular voice popped up and said bother, and I trust her in almost everything, so I went, all right, I watched it, and it's interesting.
Okay.
It's interesting. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, and since I just did this the other night, I'm still kind of digesting.
Okay.
But if anyone else is on the fence about the OA, comparing it to Stranger Things is not fair. It's not.
Okay.
I mean, that both have supernatural elements in them. Sure.
Okay.
That's about as close. It's like comparing Star Wars to Krull. It's like,
okay,
they both take place out there in the space, but that's about it.
Okay, but not quality wise.
Oh God, no. I'm a much the thing is that Stranger Things is far more conventional than the OA. The OA requires a lot from the audience. Okay, and I don't know if the failure is in I refuse to give that much to the show, or the show asked too much. I don't know. I'm still digesting it, but I just thought I'd throw that in there.
All right.
So, speaking of things that kind of seem a little hollow, Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell.
I understand sometimes you need to make concessions to make it palatable to American audiences.
Right.
But why the fuck is Scarlett Johansson? I mean, yes, she looks good in Leah skin tight, whatever the hell that thing she was wearing. It's like, you know what? I don't go to see films because I know a hot chick's going to be naked in it. I don't, because who cares? It's boobs, whatever. But that film is Japanese through and through. I mean, that franchise.
Oh, yeah, it's anime.
Now, I'll be first. I've never seen an episode of Ghost in the Shell. Never have.
I think it started as manga. I think it started as like
Did
comics.
I
may very well be wrong.
Nothing about.
that.
All I know is that it used to be on Saturday nights on Adult Swim or on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And I would go, ooh, and I go, oh, it's that stuff. I just don't. That's not my.
Yeah,
thing.
I'm not an
That's
anime
not my
guy
thing
either.
But
Toonami and all
why
that. Why isn't she? Why not?
I mean,
just
Japanese girls can be attractive. Put an attractive Japanese girls. If you have to sell it with sex,
too.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I'm all for female driven superhero
of course.
stuff. I'm all for Scarlett Johansson doing stuff. She's great.
Yeah.
She should be doing a Black Widow movie, not this nonsense. But not nonsense. But I agree. It should. Why isn't it just the Japanese actor? That franchise is 20 years old. Easy.
Yeah.
It has to be. So it has a fan base. It doesn't need quote unquote star power. Right. I just don't get it. It looked cool. It looked very Matrixy to me. Very.
They made me, but they cannot control me. It's like, oh wow, someone came up with a new trope for a film. Yeah. How many billions of times have we seen that?
Right. That's not at all what I thought it was about. I thought it was more, well, for lack of a better term, Matrixy, where like it was all internal in the head. But I mean, I'm completely. I have not watched it either.
It may be something that maybe when it's out.
I'm sure
on
it's
Netflix,
a fun ride. It looks good. It looks like it's well done.
Well, yeah, that's what you said. That's what people said about Speed Racer, and then they subsided from their epileptic fit in the first 5 seconds and went, "Okay, that's enough of that for me."
Anime's tough to translate, man.
Maybe we'll hear from someone who's well, no, it should be easy to translate. It just needs to be translated properly. I mean, I get the whole the calls of whitewashing, and most cases I agree. It's like, if the character needs to be white, black, Asian, whatever, then make them that. But if it doesn't really require that, then you can go any way you want. This is a wholly Japanese aesthetic. Why would you throw a white person in there?
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
Right.
It's like Emma Stone playing a Hawaiian in that Cameron Crowe film.
That was...
I mean, I can maybe like 10% on your mother's side from 6 generations you're Hawaiian. Okay, but I just...
Well, what's the point?
I
then?
don't understand.
Why even make a thing out of it?
Maybe Cameron Crowe had a crush on Emma Stone and just was dying to cast her in something.
Then don't make her Hawaiian.
I
don't get it.
Once again, white people are pissing me off. I mean, we're not even just go to the next thing.
Okay, speaking of weird sci-fi shit, okay, yeah. I thought you had seen it. I've seen the trailer for that Valerian movie a bunch of times, just tacked on different things.
Right. I hear they make good steel.
Yeah.
A reference you wouldn't get.
I've heard
because
that
you've never seen Game of fucking Thrones.
Yes. I know.
Okay. All right. How's Breaking Bad coming along?
Yeah, I know.
Are you getting there?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, folks, 7 years after this series ends, we will finally do our 2-parter on Breaking Bad, which by that time I will have forgotten much of it, and I will have to rewatch the whole thing.
There are mitigating circumstances, Your Honor. Moving on.
Okay.
I forgot what. This Valerian thing. Okay.
Right.
I was watching it going, what does this remind me of? What does this remind me of? What does this remind me of? And then I saw who directed it. I said, oh, it looks like The Fifth Element.
It's Luc Besson.
It's Luc Besson.
Luc Besson.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of cool with that. I'm not rushing to see this.
It's Luc Besson with a very, very hefty post budget.
Yes.
And I mean, like, probably 2/3 of the entire budget of the film is the work in post.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't stray, at least from the trailer, it didn't seem like it strayed into this hurts my head, Phantom Menace, everything is digital glossy, but
no, but it's
getting close there. It's very CGI.
And it's very frenetic. It would be very cool to me if it tied into the same world as Fifth Element. Like if it was, because maybe just a different planet in the universe.
Hey, all you got to do to get certain people to come to see that is just mention that the diva will be singing it.
Yeah,
I tell you, I know a couple. Well, Courtney's an opera person.
She is. Yeah.
So is Mindy. Apparently, they just transcribed the ability for people to sing that aria from Fifth Element.
Yeah.
And released it, and people are freaking out and watching it and listening, and like, I have to perform this because apparently opera does not get a hat tip in popular culture ever.
Yes.
So you get one tiny little bit, and they sit there and fetishize it to the point where you're sick of it.
Well, they at DragonCon, whatever it was,
we saw that.
They did a night with an evening with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra.
Yep.
And they did suites from Superman and Raise the Lost Ark and Star Wars. It was really great. And they didn't finish with, for some God knows why, they didn't close out with, but they should have. They did the aria from Fifth Element with someone dressed as Plava Laguna.
Yeah, that's kind of a mic drop moment there.
Yeah, and she crushed it. She really did it well.
Yeah.
And, some of that is digitally manipulated to where you can't exactly do it, but she did as close as humanly possible.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, we'll see about Valerian. I'm not.
Like I said, it looks fun. I'm not rushing to it. I like Dane DeHaan is good. I like.
Says the guy who still has not seen Logan.
No, I have not.
And the reason I haven't seen Logan is because you don't have time to see Logan.
Yeah.
Do you have time to see Logan?
Let's talk about
it. Let's talk about it at length on the podcast. Let's go over your schedule day by day.
That's good radio right there.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. Dan Bauman stalkers, get ready because we're going to go through his entire calendar.
I'll be at freaking Horizon Theater for the next month.
He smells like walrus.
Weird. Okay. So Valerian, yeah, okay.
And I don't recognize the male lead.
Dane DeHaan, he was in those bad Spider-Man movies. Yeah. And a bunch of other stuff. He was in something he's done a bunch of weird little movies. I know that.
Okay.
But he was the Goblin in he was Harry Osborn in the Garfield Spider-Man movies.
Oh, all right. Well,
So.
everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And of course, featuring the Enchantress as the
Cara
they're like,
Delevingne.
will they? They're partnered together, but will they? Won't they?
Yeah, I hope that's not even a thing. I hope it's just they are together or they're not together.
Yeah,
and they don't
just,
get
you know,
together.
just because a man and a woman do a mission together, there shouldn't necessarily always be that sexual tension.
No,
I hope not.
I'm tired of that trope.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of the Enchantress, apparently her doppelganger is in the new Tom Cruise film.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of shared universes, what I understand is Universal is finally
They're doing their classic monster series.
Yep. They're gonna but shared universe Marvel style. Like they're gonna break
because
out.
they want to get to the point where Key and Peele meet the ghost of the mummy of Dracula Frankenstein. It's going to happen.
That would be amazing if they did that.
He's right behind me, isn't he? You.
Oh, if anybody could do it, they could pull it
Harlem Globetrotters meet the mummy and Universal's new.
But yeah, they're doing the classic monsters. They're doing the Mummy. They're doing
Which really hasn't been. I mean, Kenneth Branagh did a Frankenstein. What
They
20
did
years
a bunch
ago?
of Frankenstein movies and a bunch of vampire movies, but
they haven't gone. They haven't OG'd it.
Yeah.
Although Coppola did Bram Stoker's, which I think adhered as close to.
But
the
that wasn't Universal style.
No,
that was
no.
Bram Stoker.
Right, right.
So that's what I mean. Like they haven't gone near the classics. They haven't for some reason, which I've never understood. I am not aware of a remake of Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know why that hasn't been done.
Well, the original is kind of weak as
But I
hell.
mean what you could do with that.
True.
You could make
Now
the
you
scariest
can
shit.
make it. You can make it messed up.
Yeah, that big scary fish dude. It could be really, really
Just don't
cool.
Just don't show the creature actually walking or running, because then you go. Yeah. No, there's definite ways to make that
Right.
a scary thing.
And Frankenstein. Do you go bolts in the neck? Do you do that whole kind of thing? They
No,
would
I think
have
you go
to.
more. You go more. What's the name of that damn series? Penny Dreadful. You go more Penny Dreadful.
Okay.
To where it's like, oh, this is Frankenstein. There's no bolts in the neck, all this bullshit. It's actual, what would it look like if you reanimated, a sewn together parts of a guy?
Interesting.
And Penny Dreadful was pretty darn good to a point, and then it just kind of got a little stupid.
Well, I was pleasantly surprised.
Another series you've seen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Dan? That I watch way too much television? Says the guy that spent 8 hours watching all the OA in one day.
Sheesh.
I did other stuff while watching, but yeah, it's a sickness.
But I was pleasantly surprised with the Mummy trailer because it was not as Tom Cruise-y as I thought. I mean, it's definitely big.
It's a cruise film.
It's a cruise film.
But any film he's in is a cruise film, as long as he's above the title.
Right, but those are the big movies he's making. They're all Mission Impossible at this point.
But he wasn't above the title in your favorite film and mine, Magnolia.
Yeah, but it was 20 years ago. I mean, it wasn't.
Please don't tell me Magnolia was 20.
It's got to be close to that. It's got to be close to that. We'll look that up. But
I remember fifth grade so well because that's when I saw it.
Maybe 2003, something like that. It's not an 8-year-old movie.
Time keeps on slipping. Right.
But he, it's everything's kind of these big, huge Mission Impossible.
Right. And this one is.
It's
kind
definitely
of
that
big-ish. Although this new trailer reveals, hey, all the problems you're having with Enchantress 2.0, wanting to change the world. Yeah, you did that.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
you
even a
watch
scene
him
where it's
fuck
like,
it up.
No, don't do that. Oh, you just did that.
Yeah.
Well,
His
then-
fault.
Yeah. So,
And I like the fact that it's a female mummy. I mean,
Absolutely.
They, in the Brendan Fraser ones, which I really did like. I liked at least the first two of those mummy movies.
Yeah, Amenhotep and
Imhotep and Anaxunamun, I think was. Yeah,
then the Scorpion King, and then we had Bubba Hotep. Hold it, no,
that's
that
not quite. No. But I like the fact that it's a female monster. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Hey, we've all been in relationships before that we're not in right now. We know women can bring the pain when they want to. They can do that. They've got that capacity.
Speaking of monster movies,
Fear Boner 2017.
I think unless they, the first half of this book, which has been translated into a movie, was always better than the second half, or at least the ending. You have issues with.
I have so many issues with the ending because it's like, I don't want to give it away because there's maybe a whole nother generation.
Yeah, who have not read. Well, we're speaking of It.
Of It, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, Stephen King's It. Read that as a kid.
Yep.
And absolutely destroyed me. Holy crap! What a great.
It's an amazing book.
I put it in King's top 3. The Stand, It, and
The Shining, probably. I mean, impact-wise. Well, Dark Tower for me, but,
Maximum Overdrive. I'm sorry, Trucks. Yeah.
Trucks, yeah.
Yeah. Even King's original story had the imaginative... It was a short story called Trucks.
Yeah.
Just Trucks.
Come to life.
Yeah. It's like, you can direct any one of my films. He'll actually sell the idea to you for $1.
Yeah.
That's, for up-and-coming, But I think Maximum Overdrive is one that he directed.
Very possibly.
I think so.
I was thinking there was
There was one that he did.
Yeah, but it was probably that.
That was awful.
He did a remake of The Shining too, like a TV miniseries.
Yeah, with Steven Weber.
Steven Weber, and did the actual book.
Did the actual book. The topiary finally moved.
Yeah, the
I remember
blew up.
Right, I remember begging any adult I could possibly find to take me to see Kubrick's Shining when it was in the theater.
Yeah.
Did not get to see it. When I finally saw it, I loved / hated in the sense that I loved every single thing about it, except I wanted the damn topiary to come to life.
Well, there wasn't even a topiary; it was a hedge maze.
Right, exactly.
So there wasn't even
right, exactly
the animals.
There
might have been, but they had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely, the film. Yeah. They were just like decor as they were going into the
as a little nod, probably.
Yeah, well, who knows? But I don't know what the third one would be, but yeah, It and The Stand are the two motherfuckers for me. And of course, Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption, but that's a novella. That's not
still, and
that is the best King film ever made, hands down.
Yeah, period.
Now, it may supplant it, but I doubt it because they're two different kinds of films.
And from what I understand, they're doing 2 films
the right way.
Yeah, because in the book, it's a bunch of kids who get tormented by a monster that lives in the sewer, a clown. Pennywise the clown. The dancing clown. And they get out of Derry, Maine, and whatever it is, 20, 25 years later,
they're back as adults, and
it comes back.
Yep.
And they're doing the movie, from what I understand. The first movie is kids, and the second movie,
it's
sequel.
It Part 1, The Losers Club, which is the kids.
Yep.
I don't know what they're going to call the second part, and apparently the second part has already started principal photography.
It would have to, yeah.
So thank God. Well, because you could pretty much, aside from the clown, they really don't have to have any actors from the first film be in the second film.
They don't. I mean, unless they want to do flashbacks.
Flashbacks.
But they could have done that while they were doing. I'm sure it was arced out. It wasn't like, okay, we finished the first one. Now let's start writing the second one. I'm sure it was arced out.
No. And Carrie, the guy that did the first season of
Fukuyama,
who did the first season of True Detective.
Yeah,
first season, not second season. I don't think he did the second season, or did he? Yes, you know what? I think he did.
Okay.
Yeah, but the first season was holy crap. The second season was Holy crap. But yeah, I'm down for... I'm not 100% sold on the new Pennywise. But,
I want to see...
But they're being very smart. They're never revealing his entire face.
There are stills out. You can see what he fully looks like.
In the trailer.
In the trailer, yes.
And you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
That's more important than anything.
What's he going to sound like?
Exactly. Because we know Curry was kind of like, "How you doing, Shani?
He was doing Tim Curry.
Now I kill you." You
Yeah.
know, that kind of thing.
Beep, beep, Richie.
Beep, beep, Richie. I'm just a sweet Trent. No harp. Sorry, wrong film.
Yeah. And this is it's a Skarsgård. One of the Skarsgårds is playing Pennywise, one of the younger ones. Stellan, Peter, I don't know. There's like Steven, I don't know, but it's a Skarsgård for sure.
Well, we'll see how it turns out. It could be good. There's the two things that I'm wondering about. You will recall that I believe in the adult section, we have a flashback to what the kids did in the tunnel.
Right.
How they handle that. Either if they gloss over it, that's a mistake, but they can use another event to signify that. How do I put it?
Bonding, I guess.
Yeah, that kind of moment. They can use something else that isn't quite as
graphic.
Yeah. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why we didn't see American Psycho filmed exactly to the book, because. Dear God.
I've not read the book, so.
Oh.
He did more.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's just some things you can't do, especially with,
I mean,
children.
I'm talking some of the stuff in the book. It probably would have been illegal to release the film with that in it in most territories.
Right.
I mean, I don't like censorship at all, but if someone kicked up a fuss about American Psycho shot from the book, I'd be like, yeah, I kind of see your point there. 'Cause good God, that is brutal.
Yeah.
But hopefully they'll handle it properly, or it will happen in the film, but they don't have to show it in the film. They have to allude that it happened.
Yeah, they can shoot around it, and
exactly.
there's ways to do it.
You don't have to. You don't have to say, all right, get it on.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
We're
talking around what it is in case you want to actually read the book.
Yeah, and it's a great book.
Oh, it's a great book, except for the ending.
Yeah,
I mean,
we won't spoil that. But
no, we won't, and hopefully they won't either, because I hate that ending so badly.
Well, hopefully, I mean, King, from what I understand, he's consulting at least on the Dark Tower stuff and like tweaking stuff he wanted to tweak. So maybe he was like, "Hey, do this instead of that."
Yeah, and if it comes from the artist,
yeah,
that's fine. I mean, if they shoot the same thing, I'll be like, it's the artist's choice.
That's
disagree.
The story.
I disagree with it, but that's the story you wrote. So,
just watch till the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's there are certain songs you hear that it's like up until a point, and then it's like, oh, you just kind of stopped writing it. That third verse is what?
Yeah.
Or you just repeated that for 2 minutes. Like, what?
You couldn't figure out a better way out of it.
Exactly. It's like you've got half of a brilliant song, and you didn't have anything to pair it with. Unlike Day in the Life, when Lennon McCartney said, "Hey, I got half a."
Yeah.
Wow. Now we've got Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Two great songs that sound great together.
I've always said if I ever get to meet Paul McCartney, I'm going to completely waste my question and ask him, why the hell isn't Band on the Run 3 different songs? Why is that one song?
I don't know. You might have been able to ask him that in London when, oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. He could have walked right by me. I could have been standing up there watching him. But
that's okay. Well, I mean,
this episode is all about the shit I've messed up, isn't it? Evidently. You ever watch this? You weren't standing there. You didn't get to talk to that guy.
Hey, what's that ball doing rolling over there? Oh, Dan just dropped it. Got it.
Again.
Another Dan Bauman ball bounce. Life.
Do
you enjoy that?
The cereal or the game?
The new motion picture coming out with Ryan Reynolds and Idris Elba. Or Idris. Is it Idris or Idris?
That wasn't Idris Elba.
It wasn't?
No.
No, it looked like him.
No, it was Jake Gyllenhaal, and it was that wasn't Idris Elba.
Okay, maybe that's why his name wasn't in the top
credit,
three.
yeah.
I'm like going, they're giving him like 4th or 5th billing. No, Michael, they're giving him no billing because he's not in the film.
Right.
Okay.
I think it was Riz Ahmed who's in Rogue One. I think.
Really?
I don't know. We're really.
I can't tell one handsome black man from another. They're all just so handsome. It's kind of a similar. We've seen this before, but not quite like this.
Yeah, it's kind of Alien, kind of the thing.
Right. We got to stop it from getting to Earth.
Yeah.
That was Ripley's whole thing. We can't let one of those things get down on Earth.
Yep.
Even though I think at one point it did get down in one of the Predator films. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I've lost, But we're still here, so apparently it didn't have much of an impact.
right.
But interesting concept. Pod comes back from Mars.
Yep.
Automatic, and we catch it and start studying it up in space.
We'll find some cells or something.
Yeah, and each cell is muscle cell and a brain cell and a
it's
nerve
reproducing
cell.
faster than we've ever seen
Right.
before.
And here's an idea: stop feeding it.
Yeah.
But apparently, it takes sustenance from the very air. I don't.
Who knows?
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll explain that.
Right.
I mean, I hate to be a Neil deGrasse Tyson about every film, but it's I mean, if you want it to be science fiction, okay, that's fine.
Lean a little on the science, though.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make it, and then the magic fairy came and made the monster big. Like, all right,
Yeah.
just give us some reason. Like it feeds off of oxygen. That's all we need to hear. It's like, oh, it actually takes oxygen and produces mass from it. Fine. At least you're trying to explain it.
I did like the line of these things wiped out Mars. That's kind of cool. Like
That's an interesting concept. So it's like, oh, so they may not actually, they may be xenomorphs.
they may not be from Mars.
That's
and they
right, because
crashed on
IQs
Mars.
are staying right at right level because it's not an indigenous life form.
Right.
It is a derelict spacecraft.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All good alien sci-fi films go back to aliens.
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
And we've got a little bit of comedy here. And, of course, Ryan Reynolds, thank you for that.
Yep.
He's kind of RDJing it a little bit.
Thing is, he's always been that way.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
always been that guy.
Do you remember Two Girls, a Guy, in a Pizza Place? From
Yeah,
back
that's
in
where
the day?
he first
That's his...
came to thing.
And you
came
think,
to prominence.
that was like 15, 20... How old is he?
Yeah.
He must be creeping into his 40s by now.
Oh, he's 40-something. He's got to be.
Because that TV show was
a
a
long
time ago.
You know who else was on that show?
I remember Traylor Howard was on that show, and I used to love her, but I don't remember who else.
Nathan Fillion.
What?
He was her boyfriend or something.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what Nathan Fillion's doing now?
A couple things. Yeah, he's doing a voice in Guardians. I know that.
Yeah. He's also playing Haley Dumfries' boyfriend on Modern Family.
Okay.
She's like
20. No, she's about 25 actually.
No, not the character's
Oh,
not.
yeah, okay.
The character's not.
Yeah.
Because she was just out of high school, dropped out of college. So we'll say
20
at the most 22.
Okay.
And he actually stated, I'm 47, did he say? 45? I can't remember. But like mid-40s. And I'm like, okay, so there is hope for us old guys,
Well, if you're Nathan Fillion there.
If you're Nathan Fillion, you, not a chance.
I caught his voice. I don't know if you saw as we record this. It is April 2nd.
Yes.
Yesterday being April Fool's Day, April 1st. Did you hear what Adult Swim did yesterday?
What do they do?
For several hours, they streamed Rick and Morty season 3, episode 1.
In a corner or the actual?
No, they actually showed it for a while with the tagline under the video, "Now you can stop bugging us." So I watched it, and Nathan Fillion did a voice in that.
Like watchable?
Yeah. I have it. Yeah, there's a link to it. I can send it to
wow.
you. Yeah, and it was pretty fucking fantastic.
I almost want to kind of digest. Though for a cartoon show, some of those are pretty profound.
You really have to watch it a couple times to like track what's going on. It's real.
It's like Aqua Teen, except it makes you think because it has lessons to teach, whereas Aqua Teen is so much random what the fuck. You have to sit there and think about it. Like, how does that even make sense? An alien made out of dicks? I just, no, that's not a thing.
And Rick is just such a lunatic, but the smartest being in the universe.
Exactly. But what's your thoughts on Life, the movie?
Meh.
I mean, I'm not going to see it in the theater.
No.
But I'm curious. I mean, I'm hoping they'll take a different spin on.
Yeah,
the whole...
I've heard not such great things about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, at least they were smart enough to keep the alien life form and studying it in space. Although orbiting the fucking Earth might have been a bit too. Certainly, nothing will go wrong.
Yeah.
If anything, like, hey, remember Space 1999? Let's study the potentially, catastrophic extinction level event alien on the moon.
Yeah.
It's still orbiting the Earth.
Yeah, it's just a little harder to get there.
Exactly.
To get here from there.
Exactly. Let's go out there.
Evidently, these scientists in these movies have never seen any of the movies that we have seen.
Exactly. Hey, for all we know, the Queen is still kicking around. The alien queen from Aliens can survive and thrive in the vacuum of space. For all we know,
we don't know that.
We don't know what they feed off of. They could feed off of gamma rays, and who knows.
Well, if bees are any indication, another queen is born when one of them dies. I mean, so that wasn't the last one.
Well, there can't be.
Well, no.
But let's have the queen be actually a weight that we would not notice as it gets onto our ship.
Yeah.
I mean, if a 2,000 plus pound alien queen happens to jump aboard our ship as we're blasting off before the place goes up.
You think there'd be an alert of some sort
I
on
mean,
the ship.
like, wow, we're really I mean, I need to, something's going on there.
Say, computer, anything weird happened while I was gone?
I'm sorry, Dave. Just a big-ass alien queen that's going to chill for a while until it's on the Nostromo.
No, nothing on the ship but the two of you. What? I'm sorry?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to bite you with my little mouth. Get back in there, little mouth. You'll get your turn later. Speaking of little mouth, you know what we're going to get next month?
What?
Alien Covenant.
That's right. It's in May, isn't it?
That's it. Yep. Now that's a theater go for me, and that's one where, sorry Dan, if you can't make it, I'm going.
That's fine.
I'm going with someone else, by myself, whatever.
Yep.
Got to see that in the theater because from what I understand, speaking of Little Mouth, when they first get on the planet, they run up against
medication time. Medication time.
Oh, we ran out of time. I'll tell you next week. Zoop.
The 9 Billion Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bauman, with Abdul Beni Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Lohner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Deep Thought, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the offices of Howard and Fine. He likes it! Hey, Mikey! Our intro music was written by Tim Akers. This podcast was sponsored by Deep Shag Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Listen, watch on YouTube, listen on SoundCloud, stream us on Stitcher, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or email us, comlink@billionpod.com. Until this happens again, I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm Michael Reed.
Hello, Zoo!
Audio Primate.